Hi everybody, and welcome to the Coating Business Unit of Organic Chemia's third webinar in 2021. The topic of this webinar will be Orgal P839 W, which is a new high-performance, ultra-hydrophobic acrylic binder for exterior wood coatings. The presentation today will be given by myself. I'm responsible for the commercial activity of the Coating Solutions Business Unit in Europe, and also Ilke Kochebek, who's our Technical Solutions Manager. During the presentation today, please feel free to ask any questions. There is a chat box on the right-hand side of the menu. These questions are not visible to any of the attendees. They're just visible to Organic Chemia people, and we will try to answer as many questions as possible during the webinar. But if we run out of time, we will contact you after the event to answer your question. Also, during the webinar, there will be some documents that you will be able to download. So the presentation you can download from the menu on the right-hand side, and also the technical data sheet and the MSDS for Orgal P839 W. So in terms of the agenda for today, I will talk a little bit about Organic Chemia and our innovation and sustainability strategy. I will then hand over to Ilke, who will talk about the requirements for exterior wood coatings and also the performance of Orgal P839 W. He will conclude these technical results, and then we will have a Q&A session after these topics. So let's start with a little bit about Organic Chemia, if you don't know our company. So Organic Chemia is a third generation family company established in 1924 as a chemical trader, and we began manufacturing emulsion polymers in 1965. We have over 55% of our sales revenue is in Europe, and we're a solution provider to over 2,000 customers in 80 countries and in 6 different markets. The markets that we operate in are listed along the bottom. So we have the Coating Solutions Business Unit, where myself and Ilke work. We also have construction solutions, textile and leather solutions, pressure sensitive adhesive and paper solutions, industrial adhesive solutions, and life science and material solutions. So Organic Chemia has 4 production units. The main one is in Kemerburgaz in Istanbul, which is on the European side of Istanbul, manufacturing water-based polymer emulsions. We have a second polymer emulsion unit in Rotterdam in Netherlands. This is situated adjacent to the Vopak Botlek terminal on the Rotterdam harbour. We have a plant in Tuzla, which is on the Asian side of Istanbul, manufacturing redispersible powders and hot melt adhesive production. And then we have a small plant in Berlin in Switzerland, manufacturing solvent-based acrylic polymers. So in total, we have over 250,000 tons of production capacity and 97 years of chemical experience and over 55 years of experience in the manufacturing of water-based polymer emulsions. We have 550 employees, and 80 of these work in our R&D center. We spend 3% of our turnover on R&D projects, and we have 8 innovation boards, which is our 6 business units and also some of our functions like procurement and business process optimization. And these innovation boards are overseen by an innovation council. So moving on to talk a little bit about our innovation and sustainability strategy. Organic Chemia follows a stage gate process, and innovation is the core of our strategy. You can see the stage gate process here. So we follow ideas from the entry of ideas into our intranet system. These ideas are then checked through a thorough checklist and passed on to the market assessment stage, which is our A stage. Once past the A stage, they move into product development. This goes from lab work to scale up to production. Then after the B stage, the products are then commercialized and fully commercialized. Along the bottom, you have some metrics that we use to measure our innovation performance. And I think probably the most important one of here is the Vitality Index. So this is the percentage of profit generated by products developed in the last 3 years over the total profit of the products. So every business within Organic Chemia tracks this Vitality Index KPI. So as you can see, because we have a 3-year window, the whole business is focused on this innovation process. Moving on to our sustainability strategy. Organic Chemia have a sustainability executive committee, which is led by our top management and which follows the sustainability strategy and also measures the progress of this journey. So this is quite a busy slide. So let's maybe start with the EcoVadis Silver Award. So we were awarded the EcoVadis Silver Medal in 2020 and 2021. However, we were only around 2 points off getting the Gold Award. So the new decision for the 2021 and 2022 is expected in a few weeks. And we will share the conclusion of this award when we get it. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have some highlights from our sustainability report, which is in accordance to the Global Reporting Initiative standards. If you don't know the GRI standard, it creates a common language for organizations, large or small, to report on their sustainability impacts in a consistent and credible way. Our sustainability GRI reports is available on our website. So you can click on the website link, or you can contact your local sales representative who will help you and send you our sustainability GRI report. Moving to the right, we've carried out an organizational life cycle assessment, which is a full assessment from cradle to gate for the whole company. And above, you can see the global warming potential for all of our activities, which is effectively our carbon footprint. You can see that the majority of the GWP comes from our upstream activities, which is effectively our raw material suppliers. And we have a lot of initiatives in this area to reduce the impact of our upstream activities, such as the use of bio-based monomers, the use of recycled monomers. We're exploring the mass balance approach. And again, please contact your local sales representative if you want to discuss these issues further. On the right-hand side, you can see our commitment to the United Nations Global Compact. This is the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative and follows 10 principles such as human rights, environmental issues, and business ethics. And more information can be found on the United Nations Global Compact.org website. And Organic Chemia have been signatories to this compact since 2019. So as you can see, as part of our sustainability commitment, we're committed to examining the environmental impacts of all of our operations and also taking the necessary measures to reduce this impact. So now I will hand over to Ilke. Ilke is our Technical Solutions Manager for the Coating Business Unit, and he's been working for Organic Chemia for around 9 years. He's a wealth of experience in coatings, additive selection, and paint formulation. And I'm sure once you send your questions in, he will answer your questions in a very, very thorough way. So over to you, Ilke.
Thank you, Jason. Thanks for the nice introduction. And I would like to welcome you all once again to our webinar about Orgal P839 W. So today we are going to talk about wood coatings and the protection of the wood. Before introducing our product, I would like to start a little bit of the protection of exterior wood coatings and the situation of acrylics in this market. The performance of waterborne acrylic technologies have made big improvements in the last years in developing overall required properties for exterior wood coating applications. For those properties, waterborne acrylics are now able to offer good alternatives to solvent-borne systems. Most of these essential properties are listed here. such as water resistance, could be a water permeability performance, or water absorption, or water whitening, wet adhesion to ensure film integrity under humid conditions. We need cold check resistance to tolerate thermomechanical stress under changing temperatures and humidity levels. We need UV resistance to have long-term durability of dried films. Low dirt pickup to have long-lasting, beautiful wooden components during the whole service life of the coating. Blocking resistance is necessary to avoid unwanted sealing problems and surface damages. And last but not least, we need also color and gloss retention. Paint industry is producing acrylics for exterior paints since 1960s. As I mentioned, over the years, acrylic polymers have proven to be one of the best alternatives for exterior wood paints. They are best today, but in a certain moment, they will all fail. When we look at the typical failures of exterior wood coatings, there is no one single mechanism which is responsible. Several mechanisms are involved in the failure of wood coatings. Modern acrylics today have good level of UV resistance, gloss retention, and excellent adhesion. And today in our presentation, we are not going to focus the failures caused by those properties. Among all these listed factors, cold and hot temperature cycles and humidity related problems and also liquid water absorption were identified as major root cause of the most failures according to the feedback from our customers and also the literature. In order to measure water intrusion related properties, we are going to focus on EN 927-5 water permeability results, and also in order to assess thermomechanical properties and elasticity, we will perform cold check cycles. Orgal P839 W was developed to address those issues, especially liquid water permeability performance. It has improved liquid water permeability according to EN 927. Product has excellent wet and dry adhesion, excellent exterior durability, high cold check resistance, good block resistance, and low dirt pickup were the key development parameters with Orgal 839W. When we look at the physical and chemical properties, Orgal P839W has 46% solid content, MFFT around 17, which has a transparent, medium hard, glossy film property when it is dried. Application areas of Orgal P839W is not limited with wood coatings. There are other coatings type possible to be formulated, such as DIY exterior wood coatings, interior exterior trim paints, high quality interior paints for wet rooms such as kitchen and bathroom, exterior paints, and on mineral substrates. In this part of my presentation, I'm going to also show you some performance results for exterior wood coating protection. I'm going to refer two benchmark binders in my test results. First binder is a market binder, competitor binder with more or less similar solid content and MFFT level. It's an acrylic binder. And second benchmark binder is also another binder from Organic Kimya, Orgal P838W, which has a proven performance in coating industry for several years for protecting outdoor wood substrates. So those two binders are good references for the protection of wood coatings. but we are going to see how Orgal P839 W is going to improve those two aspects. Trim paint formulation is going to be used in the following slides. It is almost 20% of PVC and has a gloss level around 20. First test result where I'm going to show you is about block resistance. Block resistance is tested after application on black PVC panels and drying 24 hours at room temperature and pressing the panels with 1,250 kilograms per meter square at 40 degrees Celsius. As you know, there are several different block resistance test methods in our industry, and this is a method that we mostly apply for exterior wood coatings, mostly for DIY applications. In this test, competitor binder was remarkably worse in the block resistance performance from 0 to 5 scale. It gave a performance between 1 and 2. Our reference binder, Orgal P838 W, together with new development, Orgal P839 W, outperformed the competitor binder, and they both gave almost perfect block resistance results. Second performance test I would like to talk about is the wet adhesion. We all know that keeping good adhesion on wood, especially under humid conditions, is a challenging task. But thanks to modern adhesion promoters, it's not a big issue nowadays with modern acrylics. Adhesion was tested by simple crosscut after wetting the surface, and it was tested on both pine and also aged alkyd painted surface. All binders show perfect adhesion, and there was no adhesion failures after our test. Dirt pickup was tested with an internal method as described, and I think it's very easy to understand from the pictures. Painted panels were dipped into iron oxide solution, and after cleaning, delta E values were measured versus white and the dipped part. As you know from the color measurements, a lower delta E means less color change and much clean surface. Orgal P839W showed the best performance together with 838W and outperformed competitor binder in terms of dirt pickup. One of the most important tests is the exterior durability, and it was tested by EN norm again, 927, which is the modern norm, modern standard for outdoor wood coatings, and -6 is defining how to test the outer performance by artificial QUV lamps. Here are the cycles that we applied to the panels. It starts with a condensation cycle and follows UV radiation and spray. So those cycles are repeated up to 1,000 hours, and the panels are checked. Another paint formulation, gloss paint formulation, was used in QUV in order to better assess the gloss drop of the paints. In this graph, we are seeing the gloss measurements at 60-degree angle with initial gloss after 250 hours, 500 hours, 750 hours, and 1,000 hours. So this blue line is indicating the initial gloss of 3 binders in the same formulation. 839W has slightly higher gloss at the beginning, around 62 degree, and it drops to 40 after 1,000 hours. Competition has slightly higher drop, and 8W is also in the similar level of 839. Outdoor weathering was also tested in Turkey, in a place which is called Bolu. Here I'm trying to show you from the map. And this is the humidity map of Turkey. and the dark green areas indicating wet areas, humid areas, and those pictures are also the real pictures from Bolu. It is more close to Central European, Nordic climatic areas, so we believe which is a good place for the assessment of weathering with wood coatings. We have delta E results here after 2 years. So this is those are the summarized results. 839W outperformed both benchmarks here. The color was slightly deviated after 2 years. I think it's a very good result. It's 1.3 delta E. And you can see that the substrate was a pine wood. It was applied by spray. And here are the consumptions of the primer and the top coat. It was 1 coat primer and 2 coat top coat applications. And those are the panels after 2 years of exposure. The panels in the middle indicates the control panel, which is kept in the laboratory as control. And the panels on left and right hand side are the panels from weathering station. All looks okay at the moment. Of course, those weathering is still going on. We're going to follow up to 5 and more years. And as I described in the beginning, one of the most important design criteria of Orgal P839 W was resistance to cold check cycles. This is a very important test for exterior wood coating protection. For this test, we are using plywood panels, birch plywood panels, and applying the paint 2 times on one side only, and the edges and the back side of the paint is open. The panels are open. So we let it dry at least 7 days before starting off the test. And the test starts with a water bath for 6 hours. And after 6 hours, the panels from water bath immediately placed into the freezer for 16 hours at minus 10 degrees Celsius. And when the time is over, the panels and then carry it to an oven for another 24 hours, which is set to a temperature of 50 degrees Celsius. And total cycles, one cycle actually 2 days. And after 2 days, careful evaluation is made on the surfaces to follow the cracks. Here is how it works. There's an example of a bad sample on the left-hand side and a better sample, a good sample on the right-hand side. There are a couple of large cracks, but it's very low in number, and sometimes they are not very critical cracks. I don't know if visible, but there are dozens of tiny cracks here, which is indicated by colored pens by our colleagues in the lab. Of course, this is a relative test. There is a moment that the amount of cracks are too much on the wood surface, and we decide on the end of the test. We know by experience Orgal P839 W is a very good binder, and it is one of the market reference for exterior wood claddings and wood coatings, and it has enough cold check resistance. Also, competitor binder here performed slightly better than 838. However, Orgal P839 W outperformed both binders in cold check resistance. And the last important test I would like to mention, and which was also the development target of 839 W, is water permeability test according to EN 927-5. Those who are not very familiar with this test, I would like to explain it a little bit. For this test, we are using spruce panels cut in certain dimensions. 2-coat paint application is done on one side, and the back sides and the edges of the panel is coated with 2K epoxy, and the panel is let dry at least 7 to 14 days. And before starting off the test, there is also conditioning steps to leach out, to wash some water-soluble components of the paint. And then we wait another hour, couple of days in a climatic chamber to have a balanced weight of the panels. So when the weight difference in the panels are constant, we start real test. Actually, real test is pretty easy after all those preparation and conditioning steps. It is just the mass difference of the panels before and after 72 hours water immersion. This test is very critical, and it is a must in certain areas in Europe for the quality criteria of water coatings. And EN 927 norm is asking water permeability results below 175 grams per meter square. As we see in our test, of course, this test is very dependent on the paint formulation you are testing and type of the, amount of application, type of the wood, porosity, etc. But we know 838 is also is fulfilling those requirements in many formulations. But I would like to pay your attention to the improvement done by 839W. So both binders are on the level of 170 grams, 160 grams per meter square. With 839, we have remarkably improved results, which is very close to maybe the polyurethane resins. For an acrylic resin, it's a very good result. It is 115. To conclude my presentation, let's have a look at overall performance with our spider diagram first. So 839W outperforms in many aspects both benchmark resins, especially in block resistance, in dirt pickup resistance. Both 838 and 839 outperforms the competition binder. 839W has improvements in cold check, water permeability, as well as slight better results in QUV in glass retention. Similar performance was observed with wet adhesion with 3 acrylics. To conclude my presentation, Orgal P839W is an excellent choice for not only for DIY wood coatings, but also as well as for paints on mineral surfaces. We have ongoing studies in the lab which shows interesting results. Maybe early next year, we are also going to launch some presentation about mineral surfaces. It enables to achieve very low liquid permeability results according to EN 927. Its carefully designed mechanical properties improves cold check resistance of wood coatings, which is a very critical performance for long-term durability. Its acrylic backbone ensures excellent exterior durability, and film properties with high block resistance and low dirt pickup. That was the last slide of my presentation. I would like to thank you all for listening. I hope it was useful for your applications and informative. Now we can have a quick look in our chat box if there is any questions, and I will try to answer them. I see a couple of questions. The first question is, can I use it? Can I use your binder for joinery applications? That's a good question. Basically, we have developed Orgal P839W mostly for DIY deco wood protection. Our binder is not for joinery applications where extremely high stackability, block resistance is needed. But on the other hand, it can be used in some light industrial coatings, spray applied coatings, but you have to define your critical parameters carefully. If high block resistance is needed, it's not the best choice, but moderate block, good protection still can be used for spray applications and some light industrial applications. And there's another question. Can I use it in clear coats and wood stains? Yes, the answer is yes. It can also be used in clear coats, but the development target is mostly in opaque coatings, pigmented coatings. That's why in our presentation, mostly opaque system results are shown. But we also tested in clear coats. The product also has good properties. And outdoor weathering for clear coats started a bit late. So it's also going on and still going in a good way. Yes, it can be used. And third question is it compatible with PUDs? It depends. When there's a compatibility questions, our answer is, of course, each resin has its own formulation, ingredients, the surfactants, anionic, non-ionic combinations, etc. Of course, it is better if you can do a quick check, pre-blend with your system and see by yourself. But by customer experience, we also know that it can be blended with waterborne alkyds. It's not only limited with PUD. Several combinations are possible. Also with other acrylics, you can blend it, but a pre-check and pre-control in your conditions, in customer conditions, is always advised. So there are a couple of more questions, but due to time limitations, I'm going to answer your questions by email after our webinar. Once again, I would like to thank you all, and it was we are very happy to see you in our webinar. As I would like to remind you that you can download this webinar from the files menu on your screens. And feel free to ask for samples. You can contact directly with us or our sales force in your region or our distributors. Thanks again for joining. Jason, would you like to say a final word?
Yeah, just to conclude, thanks, Ilke. Great presentation, and thanks for answering those questions. As Ilke said, there are some more questions which we will answer, obviously, privately with the customer. Samples are available of this product, and also we have commercial volumes, so we've scaled up the product. So obviously, if you want to buy material, you're more than welcome. And finally, just to add, we will also be having a fourth webinar, probably in December. So please keep an eye out on LinkedIn and with your local sales representative for the topic of this fourth webinar. And obviously, we hope you can join us for the fourth one too. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.